Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the Rocket League prediction video. You guys know the most worthless prediction videos in the Rocket League scene right now. It comes from me, but I hope you guys all enjoy. And do me a favor, if you guys can, leave a comment down below if you like these type of videos. I love prediction videos, but I will say predicting Rocket League tournaments has been one of the hardest things I've ever done prediction-wise in any esport out there because, well, currently for the past 3 to 4 months, we've been in such an unpredictable state of Rocket League. So many teams flipping back and forth and teams that have head-to-head wins and losses against the same teams. If you guys like these videos, for me it's more of a, leave a comment down below. I like to see what you guys think about these tournaments, and it's a great way to discuss these teams, but in terms of predictions, it's actually just really difficult to do. So if you guys like this stuff, leave a like on the video. More importantly, leave a comment down below saying you want prediction videos, and I'll make sure to do these for every DreamHack event, every big event out there. This one, of course, being WSOE 4, which we're going to see for a lot of these teams for the first time in an actual big stage, these brand new rosters. G2, Flipside, Dignitas, alongside them, of course, going to be Chiefs as well. I cannot wait to see all these rosters perform, so let's try my best to break it down for all of you, as well as give you guys some recent news out there. Chiefs are still trying to troll us all with Yumi being their third player. They have not announced yet their third player for this tournament, so of course we'll probably know that by this time, by the time this video goes live, or even tomorrow when the tournament does start, we're going to know their third player. I do think of all the teams at this event, Chiefs is probably hit the hardest with Drippay's departure, especially because they're not announcing their third player yet. I don't know what to expect out of them. Besides that, though, most recent news out there, we do have confirmation. We already pretty much knew about this. Tainted Minds have confirmed their starting roster to be the same throughout 2019, re-signing all of their contracts. That being CJ, the most confident man I've ever seen at an RLCS championship. So that team will be confirmed as well. And of course, let's break it down though for all of you. The teams I think are most likely to take away the WSOE title this weekend. So the group format will be 2 groups of 5. I do think Group B is a lot more predictable than Group A, but again, both groups are pretty loaded. I also will say for both groups, I do think the North American qualifier, that being Team Afterthought, and the South American qualifier, the first South American team with, we don't even know what their name is currently. If you guys know it, please leave a comment down below. There's the first South American team to make it to a main stage like this ever in Rocket League. I do think, though, it's a great accomplishment for both these teams, the runs they made throughout qualifiers. I'm going to put them out of the mix, though, for both my groups, guys. I do think those two teams have kind of been put up into a whirlwind of these upper tier rosters. A team like Afterthought and this South American team, they're being thrusted into, you could say, 8 of the top 10 teams, 8 of the top 14 teams, and I don't know why I said 14, but 8 of the top teams in the world out of nowhere, where in the qualifiers, the best teams they beat were, well, they weren't this comparison of levels. So I will just kind of throw those guys out. This format as well does not suit these guys very well. It's actually a round robin best of 5. So you play every team in your group. That means 4 best of 5s, and obviously against some of the top teams in the world, the longer you go, the harder it's going to get to actually compete with these people. Let's break it down though for Group A though, which I think should be a clean cut for a few of these teams, that being NRG and G2. I think it's really going to come down to the matchup though, that being of course formerly WDG and of course now PSG. PSG is a team out there that has been flippy floppy. I've really liked what they've done so far throughout DreamHack qualifiers, of course the qualifiers for this as well. A team who certainly at some times can compete, but again, they are a team that goes back and forth. They lose games where you're like, how did they lose that? But they also win matchups where it's very impressive. So I'm not really sure where it really comes down to. I still think WDG is probably your favored in this matchup, but PSG, historically speaking, has done pretty well against formerly WDG, now TSM, in best of 3s, in best of 5s, and in best of 7s. They actually do pretty well against them. So I will take NRG and G2 pretty much out of your group. I think I'll take NRG to win the group, G2 following them, and I'll probably take the winner, of course, of PSG TSM, but to kind of pick an upset, I'll pick PSG to go through in 3rd place for Group A. And for Group B, I said more predictable. That's because I'm going to toss out Afterthought. Again, I wish them the best of luck, but when we go off historical precedents and, of course, the rankings of these teams, I have to favor the favored teams, at least in some of these matchups, and especially with this format. Afterthought, I don't think make it through, as well as what I said before, guys, the loss of Drippay, we don't know who their third player is. Because of that, I don't know what to expect out of this Chiefs lineup. I think still a very solid Oceania team, but they should be also a favored to not make it out of the group. I think they don't make it out either, and that does mean, for me, that actually overall in the tournament, the teams who have not made roster changes should be your generic favorites, right? They don't have to actually make up for play styles and, of course, the mismatches they had before. I think Cloud9 should win this group pretty convincingly, and they'll be followed out by a team. I think Flipside should show up pretty well here. I think they actually beat their alma mater Dignitas in this group play, at least. I think it will be, though, though, guarantee Cloud9 win the group, or at least they should be a strong favorite, followed by Flipside and Dignitas to make it out in second and third place, whoever really wins that matchup. But overall, I'm going to give you guys my top 2 picks. I'm not going to try and individually break down the playoff matchups. I do have to favor the teams that have actually not made roster changes, and probably your world top 2 teams currently, that being WDG alongside Cloud9, and of course, I keep on saying, forgive me guys, TSM. They have not made roster changes. I will favor them strongly because of that. Alongside that though, a team like Cloud9 I think has a favorable group, especially given their last 2 appearances or last 3 appearances against Dignitas. I think they should make it out in first place automatically to the semifinals and avoid any rematches there. Why I chose WDG, TSM. It's gonna be a while before I get that down, okay? So please don't blame me too much. I'm gonna take TSM though because historically speaking, the one team who can actually beat Cloud9 these past 2 months has been them. So if anyone's gonna make a clean sweep of Cloud9, have a chance to actually win this besides Cloud9, I will pick these 2 teams. I know they're not surprise picks, and I really do want to preface, guys, anything can happen. I can see a lot of teams out there making runs. Besides the PSG, I think in terms of series, they're a bit too flip-floppy. But also on top of that, when you look at a team like TSM, historically speaking, I've said historically way too much, they've had a lack of defense. If the score gets run up on a team like TSM, they don't really play back too well. So I can also see a series not going their way, and all of a sudden they're out of the event itself. So I'll take Cloud9, I'll take TSM as my 2 favorites, but let me just say once again, anything can happen. But I'm really excited because there are so many unanswered questions that will be answered during this event. 4 top teams, guys, in the world have roster changes, and we're going to see how they play out. But that, of course, leads into our very last topic for Rocket League news. It's pretty much an open community question for all of you. I'm really curious what you guys think. Who will Flipside's 3rd player be? Now, Speed, of course, still playing on Red Reserve's roster, has been a stand-in for these guys and will be for WSOE as well as the DreamHack event coming up sometime soon. But if he plays well, will he stay? So he certainly has to be a consideration for the future. But I think a lot of us out there, based off Flipside's coach and the graph, and apparently they have already found a new player to fill in after these events to conclude, the questions do have to be answered eventually, right? And I think the rumors are probably true. Magnus for Complexity, that team has been on a monstrous tear, especially throughout DreamHack qualifiers. What they did, it was fun to watch. And Magnus, you would have to say, has been the difference maker for that roster. That was not the same Complexity. Of course, it's a different roster, but it's kind of weird comparing RLCS Complexity to the Complexity I saw at the DreamHack qualifiers. So Magnus is definitely on the map. Alongside that, of course, former Fnatic member, that being Maestro, certainly has to be. Definitely the carry of that roster, a man who deserves to be on a top team, and I would love to see him there. Either pick, I think, is a definite improvement from Speed, although we have not seen him play it out. So he has to be a consideration based off how he plays these next 2 tournaments, and certainly has potential. But I would say, as of right now, based off rumors and feedback, those are probably your top 3 picks to fill in for that Flipside roster. I wish them the best of luck, and I really do hope they get a face-off against Dignitas, which they will in group play, and have some chance to get some sweet revenge on the once formerly top 1 team in the world. So hope you guys all enjoy. As always, my name is Jake. Thank you for watching Rocket League News. I will, of course, see you back here Monday breaking down the results and how wrong I was. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.